Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Gebo the Shaman, and today we are talking about, we're talking about divine timing, planning according to what our soul wants to do and not what our ego wants to do, because those are two different things. So, divine timing, how even we'll talk a little bit how that corresponds with even astrology and how that works. But so it's there really is this divine timing that corresponds with the dasha system, and it's a lot easier when your will is in alignment with your soul's will. A lot of times people call this God's will or what have you. I tend to think of God in not a religious sense, but more of a spiritual sense, like for example, using God as a reference to the universe. So yeah, in essence, like that's how I think of it, and let's just talk about that, like that term God. A lot of people have very negative experiences with religion and things like that, so they tend to go the opposite way, say, hey, I'm an atheist. Okay, well, you're basically, essentially, it's funny how that works. Like, in order to rebel against Christianity, somebody becomes an atheist. Well, that my individual rebellion against Christianity was me becoming a polytheist, an animist. That's just a belief system that's more in alignment with who I am. So, and I've had experiences with different gods, different deities, different energies, forces, and things like that. So yeah. Anyway, so let's talk about God's will for us. Or you could say our higher powers will for us, or the universe. The universe's divine plan for us. You could put it into whatever terms you want. It doesn't have to be in a religious context. So, but really what it is if you are living in alignment with your soul, you are living in alignment with the universe. Now, there's a difference between the pure divine soul and the impure, very human, very animalistic ego. There's a huge difference between those two. And we're all human, so we all have an ego. And by the way, an ego isn't a bad thing. Ego just means I in, what is it, Latin, something like that. It just means I. So if you have no ego, you have no I, you have no identity. So it's very important to have that distinction. If you have no ego, you have no identity. So it's very important to have that distinction. We need an ego. If we don't have an ego, like I said, we have no identity. But the ego is there to give us our own sense of identity. The ego is a self-protection mechanism. If we have if we have a healthy ego, that would be, somebody would be pretty humble, just like, yep, this is who I am. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm happy with myself. I love myself. Things like that. But when we have an unhealthy or unbalanced ego, we say, "Oh, I'm the shit. I'm the top dog. I'm whatever. I'm the top G and whatever." No hate on Andrew Tate, but no, that's kind of the egoistic thing to say. It's very blatant, very self-aggrandizing. It's very self-congratulatory and kind of making yourself to be something that you're not. So, but if somebody does that, if somebody says, "Oh, I'm the best. I'm the alpha male. I'm a bad bee," different things like that, like or a boss bee, whatever. They say different things like that. It's very that gives you a clue to their actual defects of character. Defects of character is a term we use in 12-step groups, meaning that their own lack of self-esteem, their own insecurities of themselves. This is why they have to put themselves on a pedestal. They can't, since their ego is so weak and so debilitated, they have to overcompensate for that and act like they're better than everybody else. Who does that remind you of? Donald Trump. And again, no hate to him either. So there's a lot of people that do this, actually. So, it's, Trump says, "I'm the best. There's nobody better. I am the best." So, if somebody is doing that, then that's their ego talking. The soul says, "I love myself. I'm equal to others. I treat myself and others with respect and dignity, and, it's very sattvic, if you know what that is. Sattvic basically means the purest divine energy, pure love, unconditional love, things like that. It's very sattvic. But the ego is very, I forget if it's tamasic or rajasic or something like that, I forget. But anyway, it's very self-absorbed, very, selfish and all that good stuff. So how does this tie in with living, having divine timing and having your will in accordance, in alignment with God's will, or if you want your soul's will, or the universe's will? So essentially, the ego will pull you in a life direction that, says, "Oh, I have to be the best. I have to have the best cars, have the best women, have the best mansion, and, house and everything like this. I have to do certain things to get my status up in society, so that way I can feel respected, I can feel good about myself, I can feel accomplished, and everybody will respect me, and then I can be safe. I can be safe because I'm respected, and because I have all these nice things, then that'll make me feel safe." But that's not but the ego, it's very, we're all we all have defects of character, and these are the ego's way of, you know, the ego does stuff like wanting the best of everything, so that way it can feel safe. That's because there's a lack of self-esteem there. There's a lack of self-acceptance. There's a lack of, there's just a lack of emotional security, could be a lack of financial security, could be they feel threatened with their personal relationships and things like that. So yeah, and of course defects of character are, selfishness, being inconsiderate, being self-seeking, being, just things like that. So yeah, anyway, I would highly recommend anyone do get involved with the 12-step group, because they can easily take you through the ways of, just becoming mature and accepting your defects of character and things like that, and working to change them, bringing our will in alignment with the universe's will. So our ego thinks that we have to accomplish things, we have to do things to get people to like us and things like that. It wants to make us very, very safe, and it wants to, it thinks that if it achieves a certain thing, that we will be safe, and that nothing can harm us if we achieve a certain status. But the soul says, like, I'm not here to achieve, $5 million mansions and Bugattis and all kinds of worldly materialistic crap, supermodel wife and all that stuff. The soul says, I'm here to do what gives me joy. So that could be different for everybody. I mean, my mentor, he wanted to be a famous actor so he could prove to his dad that he was worth something, and to show his dad up, and out of that anger for what his father had done to him as a child, and that desire for fame and notoriety and recognition and things like that was so strong, and it really pushed him towards becoming an actor, and perfecting the art of acting. And he's a super good actor, and but he never got any fame in Hollywood or anything like that. But so that never happened for him, and then and then he one day he just decided that I'm going to do what I actually want to do, what gives me joy, instead of trying to prove something to my father. I'm going to do what gives me joy and live according to my wishes. So the soul, instead of this ego trying to chase a certain status or certain notoriety or things like that, he essentially went after what his soul wanted to do, which was just go surf and enjoy life, a quiet life, a peaceful life, talking about what he was interested in on the internet, and just essentially living peacefully and living a very, very quiet life, and just, just surfing and things like that, and doing, not really chasing the fame or notoriety, just like doing what he enjoys. So when we bring our will, instead of acting from the ego, which, the insecure ego, instead of doing that, we should just pursue trying to live in harmony with our soul, in alignment with our soul. And so that means facing some hard realities, like, the resentments that you carry. Everybody has resentments. I don't care. I don't care what you have to say. Everyone has resentments. They could be little tiny ones, or they could be really big ones. Everybody's gone through some kind of a trauma, or abusive or devaluation scenario, with whether it be in their childhood, with their family, with their parents, or in their adult relationships. Everybody's gone through something, because humanity is not perfect. So essentially we have these resentments that we carry, and those propel our ego. Those propel us to act in certain ways, and behave in certain ways, and live according to our ego. But when we say, hey, I surrender, and, this is why I encourage people to go to 12-step groups. Do your step 4. That is the most important steps to get to, is steps 4 and 5. I don't care if you're in, CODA, in AA, NA, Marijuana Anonymous, Sex Addicts Anonymous, SLAA, Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous. There's a whole crapload of programs, 12-step programs, that are out there that are free. And not only that, you get somebody who will hold your hand through the entire process of the 12 steps, so you have a zero excuse. So it's made super easy for you. I mean, it is easy. It's not it's simple, but it's not easy. The process is simple, but it's not easy, especially on the psychological level, on the emotional level. It can be pretty hard at times, but this is what Saturn is calling us to. This is the level of maturity that Saturn is calling us to. So when we release the resentments, when we drop the ego, we can then be more at peace to live and do what our soul is calling us to do, instead of being trapped by our ego. And so this is a way of recalibrating our brains and our behaviors, our thoughts, our feelings, everything like that, and recalibrating it, and actually acting that will help us act in accordance, in alignment with our soul. So, we often, have these things that we think we need to prove to ourselves and to our parents, to, I'll show them, I'll prove to them that, I'm better than them, and, things like that. That's all from resentments, that's all ego, that's all self-defense mechanisms and things like that. But when we drop all that crap, when we drop our need to be something or achieve something or do something, then we can just be. We can just be who our soul intended us to be. So, I mean, this is my challenge to you guys. If you actually take me up on it, I doubt that any of you will, but here's the challenge. Go to a 12-step group. Work the steps. And when you get to step 5, reach back out to me, and I will congratulate you. Because this is some of the most important work that we can ever do, is 12-step work. So, anyway, guys, and then I'll talk about some. I feel like I should wrap it up there, but I said I was going to talk about some divine timing stuff and planetary alignment stuff, so I will. So, you know, sometimes we have what's called karma. And karma, we all, if we are alive, if we're breathing, we have karma. And karma is neither good nor bad. It's both. It's good and bad. It's, positive and negative. But karma is just there to teach you a lesson. Karma is the results of your actions. It is, if you do good things will happen. If you do bad things, well, possibility that negative things happen. So, for me in particular, I just happen to, have my, happen to feel something in my chest. Like, this was a few years ago. I felt like tightness in my chest, and I thought I was having a heart attack or something like that. I had severe health issues that were undealt with for most of my life, and that was a few years ago, and I was just entering my my Sadhisati, my Saturn return, where my Saturn was aspecting the moon, transiting like the houses around the moon. Anyway, I won't talk about Sadhisati. But anyway, so Saturn corresponds with actually the heart chakra, and the moon corresponds with the heart chakra. And it's not chakra, it's chakra. There is no SH in chakra. A lot of people say chakra, but it's actually chakra. Anyway, so around this time, I ended up getting, having a lot of, heart issues. I felt like crap, and, my heart was not having a fun time. I would have tightness in my chest and stuff like that. And I was never one to go to the doctor, but I felt prompted to. I felt, okay, I'm either gonna die or I need to go to the doctor. So I chose to go to the doctor, even though, I felt like just calling it quits on life. But, I chose to go to the doctor and see what's up. So he ran a bunch of tests, and turns out that he diagnosed my health conditions. Stuff with my thyroid and things like that. And so essentially, thyroid issues and adrenal issues, stuff like that. So this shows you that a Saturn return, a Sadhisati, can be a positive benefit to you. Because in early life, Saturn really kind of, I would say he kind of screwed me over, but that was all God's timing. I mean, it's funny how the shitty stuff that happens in childhood can often result in something really good and positive later down the line. During childhood, it makes you want to blow your brains out, but during adulthood, it's a lot better. Life gets better. So that's the rewards of Saturn, is just that. And then, not only that, but as soon as I hit my Saturn Mahadasha, now I'm currently still in my Sadhisati, but also my Saturn Mahadasha kicked in. And since then, I've been, very productive in my business and things like that. So yeah, it's just a total change from, what I had to deal with growing up and stuff, and just before that time period, I just couldn't make myself do anything. I had a bunch of great ideas, but putting them into action was never something that I could do. But these planetary transits kind of brought me good health. They brought me a profitable business. They brought me knowledge of astrology and things like that. And so, it's a lot of hard work went into my channel and my business, but it's like so worth it. And this is just the results of Saturn. I made videos every single day for like a year and a half, and then I'm seeing the rewards of that. I'm seeing the benefits of that. So this is just, if you live in alignment with your soul and do the things that the soul is guiding you to do, that which brings you the greatest joy that you could possibly imagine. Do those things and live in alignment with those things, and you will be brought into your perfect life. I mean, that's just it. That's all we're trying to have is our perfect life, and so that's it's much more easily accomplished when you're living in alignment with your soul than with your ego. So it's kind of like the ego has to, I wouldn't say die, because once again, ego is you. But the ego has to subside and become balanced in order for the soul to thrive and to, to do good, to have its desires met and fulfilled and things like that. So, yeah. Alright, guys, so that pretty much does it for me. Different time periods do different things, planetary time periods. So that's all for me, and if you're interested in my book, you can get it at gebodeshaman.com. Once again, the book is called Tantric Secrets of Vedic Astrology, and you can get it on my website, gebodeshaman.com. And if you're interested in a astrology reading, then you can hit me up on my website once again. And I offer astrology readings. I offer counseling, spiritual counseling, things like that. And so spiritual counseling. I offer qigong courses, energy work courses. I do have a meditation that will help you become in alignment with your soul, so that is very highly recommended. You can check that out on my website. And so I have my astrology certification course as well, if you're interested in that. I have qigong courses, yoga courses, I have my birth time rectifications if you're interested. I have rune readings. I have career coaching and life coaching, things like that. Spiritual counseling, trauma healing course called the emotional awareness course, distance energy healing, and things like that. So, yeah, if you're interested in anything like that, then you can hit me up on my website, gebotheshaman.com. It's going to be in the links below in the description, and you can check all the links out in the description below for my various products and services and courses and all that good stuff. So if you're interested in that, I would highly appreciate it. You know, your purchase of the products that I offer and things like that I offer is a great contribution for to this channel, and yeah, I really appreciate anybody who supports me and purchases from me. So anyway, yeah, thanks guys, and appreciate you. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.